Ladies and gentlemen, crypto heads around the world, the Monday Kickoff with real Daniel Nitze and Mr. Spread. Like, share, subscribe, and enjoy.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another Monday Kickoff. This is episode 12. Here is Mr. Spread, and I'm joined by my partner in crime, real Daniel Nitze. Hello, Daniel. Welcome back, man. Glad to have you.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a long time, man. 2 weeks, I think, or something. I've been a bit on vacation. But it's good going on vacation and Bitcoin going up. It's like sitting, doing nothing, and you make some money, as they say in the markets. Of course, it's not that easy, but I'm very excited to see Bitcoin about 40K right now with all the hate that it got in the past 2 years.
Right.
It's crazy from my view. It's crazy that Bitcoin trades at 41,761 as we speak right now after everything that happened. So I'm very happy to see that, and to see what's gonna happen. Maybe some scenarios that we see for the markets, of course, for this week and probably the end of the year. I think would be nice to discuss with you today, Mr. Spread. But yeah, very very happy to be here with you.
I think you should go to vacation a little bit more, because I remember at some point in time, every time when you were doing a live, you were putting like a hammer to Bitcoin price. But now you went to vacation, Bitcoin rallied around $10,000 since you left, I think, more. So it's like what, 20-25%. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But in general, you should take vacations way more often, man. I mean, 4 years, what a grind. And I have to say,
it's my first vacation, like real vacation. I did not take my laptop with me. I think it's the first one
wow.
in over 4 years. So
Okay.
yeah, was all right. But at some point your mental health needs to improve or like stay stable, or don't forget to enjoy little things in life, because if you grind every day, you kind of forget about that. You forget to live life and enjoy little things. So for me, it was good to finally get out of this for a little while, and now I have more energy and I'm more pumped. And I'm very very interested to see what December is gonna bring us and what 2024. I think 2024 is gonna be a roller coaster. I'm telling you, from
Really?
the start. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a huge roller coaster. But yeah, maybe we can talk about it. Maybe we can talk about it. I think a lot of people don't know what's probably coming in 2024. It's gonna be a roller coaster, so that's why I need a lot of energy, for for 2024.
I think you
Yeah.
chose the perfect moment to go to a vacation, because although some people are super hyped right now, the hype which I see, and also the sentiment which I see now in the futures market. I saw Bratuku, and I want to say hello to him on this occasion. He posted a very nice piece of information that just in the last few days, if not 24 hours, more than $1.2 billion of longs were added, which was quite a lot. Yeah, we had a little bit of flush, just like 150 million in the last few hours. However, I really think that people are crazy when they use this kind of leverage after such kind of a rally. And let me say something, because I want to clarify some things, because some people were maybe misunderstanding what I was saying before, or maybe they misunderstand, or I don't know, maybe we come from different parts of life and investment, etc., right? Although I have that steampunk sentiment, and I joined Bitcoin because of Satoshi's white paper, because of Safe Dean's Bitcoin Standard, because of Brad Love and Michael Saylor podcasts, and especially because of Michael Saylor. I also come from the traditional markets, right? So maybe I'm a little bit more balanced when it comes to trading. Maybe I have a little bit of a longer time frame. And of course, I'm not going to sit here and say that I would not have liked to also own some, I don't know, some Solana, TIA, CASP, and kudos to the guys from Bitcoin, because they mentioned them for about 2 months now. But I felt that this is not the time, right? And I felt that I felt that I'm much better allocated when it comes to risk reward, especially to the risk side. Just staying about, like I said, I was a few months ago 21%. I increased my exposure to 23%, and right now I'm like 25% allocated to Bitcoin. And this is what I wanted to say. Since Bitcoin broke above 30K, I didn't bought anything. because I thought, and I was wrong, I thought, and I'm not afraid to admit it live and publicly, I thought that after a rally towards 38, we're going to have some sort of a pullback. But all the pullbacks were really shallow, and we went to 35, 36, and after that 38, we stayed above, we stayed near 38 for quite some time, and we finally broke above 38. We printed yet another high and another high for the year, and now we just smashed also through 40 and 41. Some people will ask me now, so what you're gonna do? You're gonna buy now? Well, my mother, God rest her soul, taught me something very nice when I was really young. In my teenage years, she said, for towards buses that you missed, the girls, and now regarding prices, never chase. Buses, girls, and prices, because another one is always gonna come, and the one that is gonna meant for you is gonna be meant for you. So.
I agree there. I agree. I don't usually chase price as well. So if I want to buy something and I don't buy it, and then it goes up, and I'm not getting into the price I want to get in, I'm not gonna chase it. Like I don't want to be in every altcoin, in every
Sure.
like asset. I don't need to. I need to be in 1, 2, 3 that I know it's gonna perform long term, or a few that I have high conviction on. I
Right.
don't need to be in every coin, because people are like, oh, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. I was like, yeah, it's too much noise. At some point you're gonna be like crushed by the market, because you're gonna buy everything, and then what are you gonna do? So that's what it is. I know for myself that I'm never gonna be in every pump, or in everything that goes up, or in every short, or no, that's not how I see things. And I see your perspective.
You,
As well. And I think we
you
need a lot more people to admit when they're wrong and when they're right. Because many people just
But it's
admit,
not even
hey,
about that. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
people care more about being wrong or right than just making money.
Yes.
I had the plan. My plan, remember, it was since we were around 25, and I said, man, listen, I'm gonna be short. I mean, my bias is gonna be towards short, as long as it's gonna stay under 28.5. Above 28.5, I'm neutral, and above 30K, I'm gonna be bullish. But my bias is gonna be bullish, right? And I'm not going to look for shorts anymore, because the dominant trend is going to flip to bullish. It's not going to be a bearish trend anymore. Of course, if you're biased, you can be even now bearish, which is, I think, is preposterous, even above,
Yeah.
after the last move. However,
Like
I'm not going to.
Capo went
I
back
don't.
from the dead.
I don't. I don't
Capo
want to
went back
mention.
from the dead.
I don't want to mention that guy. I really don't want. He blocked me, I think, 1 year ago, because I sniffed him. He was way less famous than he is right now, but I sniffed his bullshit long time ago. But I
But
don't
see,
want to speak about. I don't want to speak about this kind of
this is
people.
something that people should contemplate more. I think how people become famous on like Twitter or like YouTube or something. They become famous usually when they have an extreme. That's how it works. You just be at the extreme and say, oh, price goes only there, and people will join. The people, of course, that want that to happen,
Because
they will join you. And if
it
you're on
fits
the
their
right
bias.
side,
It fits
yeah,
their
it
bias,
fits the
Daniel.
bias. Yeah, it fits the bias. So that's how it works usually on social, and it's never gonna change. Trust me, it's never gonna change. So
It's actually interesting, because I was mentioning what I was saying, and now I just saw a comment from Edward, and he says, Mr. Spread, I respect you a lot, but you said the same when Bitcoin broke 27, 30, 35, and now 40. I didn't say the same, just to reiterate what I was saying. Under 30K I was bearish, Edward, and this is for everybody. So under 30K I was bearish. Between 28.5 and 30K I was neutral, and I said, if we're gonna have some liquidity grab and go back under 30K, I'm gonna be again bearish. Above 30K, and you can check the tweets, I don't need to just say it. Above 30K I was looking for another high above 32, and above 32 I said, okay, I'm bullish now. However, since then I didn't bought anything. I just had some longs on some altcoins on futures. I tried the short swing, which closed on stop loss on Bitcoin, obviously, because I'm not a swing trader. And most of the time, when you short against, or when you go against the dominant trend, which is bullish about 32K, most of the time you're going to get burned. I've seen a lot, even some big traders who tried, and they still have some open positions, and they're adding to their open positions. Since 35K, they tried to short Bitcoin heavily, and they're adding at 37, 38. I don't know their strategy. However, just to finish up with what Edward said there, I didn't buy above 30K, and I'm not going to buy right now. And people will say, and to add to what you very well said, Daniel, people will say, oh, so what if we're never going to pull back? Okay, so if the price is going to go to 50K, it's fine. If it's going to go to 60K, it's fine. At some point in time, we will have a deeper correction above 25, 30%. Okay, at that point
Yeah.
in time, I will
Mhm.
reassess and I will see if that it's a macro higher low, and based on that, when is going to be the pullback, because this was my plan and a lot of people don't have a plan. On that pullback, I will add on Bitcoin, and depending on how BTC is going to look and depending on how the dominance is going to look, I might also add some altcoins, because this was my plan from
Yeah.
before and it's written there.
Also, you don't have zero allocation to Bitcoin. As far as we started this podcast, I think a few months back, I think you have 25% allocated to it, to Bitcoin, as far as I remember. So it's not like you don't have
Exactly.
allocation
Well,
to it.
at
But yeah,
52k, at 52k, I'm gonna double my current investment, because my current price, my average price is 26.5. So if
yeah,
Bitcoin
it's
goes
not
to
bad.
if Bitcoin goes to 52k, I'm just gonna double my
Yeah.
25%, which I have allocation to it. So why would I worry, or like why would I get into any type of form? I'm just enjoying what allocation I have. That's why I had some allocation, because it's very hard to time the bottom or the tops. And when we're
Sure.
gonna
Yeah.
see some type of rotations, if we're gonna see some type of rotation, I'm gonna switch to altcoins. But
We will.
again,
I think we will, and maybe we can talk about this more
it's still
because
Bitcoin season in my opinion. It's still Bitcoin season in my
yeah,
opinion.
it's still Bitcoin season, as you see now. Bitcoin above 40K. I think if you remember my scenario, I think we're going in that to that scenario right now. I think the 40K might be the 10K from 2019, but I still don't see a lot of FOMO. I don't know. The market reacts right now like Bitcoin is at 4K, not 40K. Don't you have like this? I don't know. Don't you see this? Because I see it all over. Like people are not that excited and as they were in 2019 or 2017. It's not
I can
that
tell you
excitement. It's
I can tell you
just
what's the
right
problem.
now it's like people, oh, Bitcoin is going up. Okay, Bitcoin is going up, but it's not that, yeah, let's put a chart on so people can see it. But yeah, people react now like Bitcoin is like 4K. It's not 40K. It's like, people, what's wrong with you? It's like Bitcoin is at 40K. It's not 4K. It's like, yeah, I don't know. That's how I see it. That's how I see the sentiment. It's very interesting. I think they were more interested when the price was down a lot. Mainly probably because a lot of people were very bearish, as we said, Capo and others, like highly bearish, and maybe those people never had an allocation. So maybe that's what's happening right now. And people are like, I don't know, hating on this rally or something because of that or something. I don't know, but I don't feel it. Like I thought once Bitcoin go above 40K, that's why I haven't sold yet anything. Like I haven't sell any
Me neither.
position I have
Me
on
neither. I'm
Bitcoin
not
because
gonna sell this Bitcoin right now. And
yeah,
actually, I'm not gonna go
go
on.
ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, that's why I'm not selling right now. Because I don't see that. I don't see that FOMO right now. Even though Bitcoin is at above 40K, like it's not that. Like I'm here for some time. And this is probably not it. Probably we're gonna go a bit higher or something. Something needs to happen. Maybe the January ETF or something. Maybe the end of the month when people sell to buy gifts. I don't know, but something needs to tick in order for me to sell some a little bit. But now I don't know. Now is the time.
You have a different strategy. This 25% allocation, which I have, most likely I'm not gonna sell. I don't know even if I have a yes, I have a target price. So if we're gonna go in the next few months near all-time high, I will don't think I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna reallocate from Bitcoin to some of the altcoins which I'm eyeing and didn't catch up yet, right? So this is what I'm gonna do, and go higher with my exposure on a pullback. I see some people still, I still some people are still wondering why I don't buy if I still have a confirmation, because I don't have the pullback, guys. It's very very simple. I had the plan and I'm gonna follow up with my plan.
Yeah, I
Break
don't. I
above
don't think the
30k.
conversation
Go.
should be that. Like I don't know. Like you showed what you do. Like you put your
Yeah,
money
but
where your mouth is. So yeah, I totally respect that. I totally respect that. So I don't think the conversation should go in
true,
that
true, true.
direction.
Since you have the chart open, let's just focus on something that I'm eyeing, right? So I thought that
Yeah,
we're gonna have a pullback from this, but Bitcoin managed a seventh week. So how many weeks we have? One, two, three, four, five, six,
yeah. I'm,
seven.
I'm not
Now,
surprised.
this is
It's
this is the
Bitcoin.
eighth week. This is the 8th week, and we are actually going to a quite important resistance, I would say, between 40 to 42. However, I'm not gonna people who are shorting, so people are shorting since here. Imagine people are shorting since here. I don't know why people were shorting and why they're adding shorts when we went above 30k and we printed another high above 32. I have no idea why people are still shorting, because the dominant trend is clearly bullish. Under here, yes, I was also bearish under 30k, although some people caught this bottom or this local bottom very nicely. What I was saying is that under 30k is like, okay, you have some short exposure because we still can go lower if we lose 25. However, when you print a new high and you have a new high for the year and you go from above 35k, which was the, let's say, the last confirmation, the last nail in the coffin that the bear market was starting, I have no idea why people were still shorting here with no confirmation of a pullback. Right now, after this extended move, so how much is here from the last time? So it's about 17%, almost 70% move. What I'm looking at a pullback towards here, and maybe here I'm gonna add to my allocation a pullback towards 35 here, and maybe like this, or the third scenario for a deeper pullback. But I really don't know what has to happen in the current macro conditions or in the current Bitcoin conditions, let's say like that, in order for Bitcoin to retrace. How much is here? It's about 30%. So only in that type of scenarios, let's say when you reject from here and you go under 38, you can think about some shorts, right? Even a swing here, but this is really minus EV, right? This is minus expected value long term. When you short from here, you either have to be a very good swing trader and you have to limit your exposure, and your stop loss has to be really, really tight, because you're shorting against the dominant trend, and the dominant trend is bullish right now, right? So like only under this kind of move, if this turns out into deviation, to short it under 38, tagging or targeting 34 and maybe 30k, only on this type of moves I would look for a short. However,
Yeah,
now
I think
who knows?
you highlighted very well 38k. I was looking at that as well. So in order for me to short right now, it's still that level under 38k. So if I want to short right now, probably I'm gonna wait 38k. I think more aggressive would be under 40, but you highlighted very well so far. I agree.
Yeah, even let's say, Daniel, right? Let's say if we pull back, even here, this can be, I don't know, some type of a higher low
Yeah.
on this kind of structure. So I would not short from here, because you don't know, maybe on this type of move we liquidate a lot of late longs, which we have from here, and after that we print another high and we go towards 48 and maybe even 50k. I know it sounds crazy, right, for some people, but what I have noticed is that the latest pullbacks were really shallow, right? And on top of that, there is something that is really, really, really important. A lot of people didn't notice it, and I think we spoke about it last time. And is the market cap of Tether. So Tether put how much did it increase in the last, about 7%. So from 84 billion. Close to 90 billion. So in the last, how much is this? In the last one month, almost 2 months, Tether market cap added another 5 billion. It means that there is, remember how much I was emphasizing when we were under 30k liquidity? It means that there is an increasing demand for stable coins since October 9th. And I just added, just for correlation, I just added also Bitcoin on this chart. And look what happened since Tether market cap increased with 5 billion and the demand for stablecoin increased, right? Look what happened also with Bitcoin price. Look how correlated are these two moves. So this is something that I'm really watching when it comes to all the assets that all the times. All the times, like also look from here, look also from the consolidation when Tether went higher, also again another period of consolidation. So what I was saying is that liquidity is the fuel for all asset classes, right?
Yeah.
Now when I'm watching, for example, when I'm watching the traditional markets, I'm watching the money supply, the M2 money supply, the global money supply. When I'm watching the crypto space, I'm watching what's happening with Tether, which is the biggest stable coin. Plus, I'm also watching the other ones all together: Tether, USDC, DIBE, USD, which is going to be taken out. So we can see that the market cap of stable coins slowly and grinded higher. However, market cap of Tether just skyrocketed and added another 5 billion, so another 7% to it. It means that most of this money, because if you correlate the market cap of Tether plus how the Bitcoin chart looks with total one in Bitcoin dominance, we can see that from all these three all together, we can see that the most of the money plus Ethereum, Bitcoin, of course, most of the funds went to Bitcoin until now. That's why I was keep repeating that it's still Bitcoin season. You know?
Yeah, it is Bitcoin season, and I agree with liquidity. A lot of people say that, hey, this manipulation because Tether is printing whatever. Maybe it's real demand. You have no idea. It should be real demand because Tether was audited multiple times. So in my view, like this scenario that Tether is manipulating the market, or USDC with printing fake money, I don't know how much it stands. In my view, we'll have to see if
We're
Tether
here to
is
make
the
money,
last
Daniel.
stand.
We're here to make money,
Yeah.
not watch
I'm here to make money
conspiracies.
as well.
Yeah.
This manipulation, as I said previously, people go into this scenario. Oh, manipulation, this manipulation, that. You don't have to care. Manipulation is done both ways, by the big
True.
players all the time. So in all the markets, it's not only crypto. So people will know that. But yeah, manipulation or not, I think we're gonna look at the price and see what the price does. And it's crazy right now because everything it's kind of going to all-time high. Even though Bitcoin is like 40% down from almost 40% down from all-time high, you saw gold going back to all-time high. Like Peter Schiff was like crazy
Can I tell
yesterday.
you something?
Like he went
that
crazy.
makes me worried. That makes me
Yeah,
worried. Yeah, that makes me worried because gold going like that on a Sunday to Monday
can you pull
morning.
before you go into it? Can you pull the gold chart?
Sure,
It
sure,
traded
sure.
like a shitcoin for a couple of seconds. Well, it was crazy
Immediately.
with what 10 trillion market cap.
I think it's 13 trillion at this at these
Yeah,
values.
I think this now is probably 13. Wow, crazy. Crazy. If you can see the chart, guys, if you like the content, please hit the like button. If you're on Twitter, hit the like button. If you're here on YouTube, of course, hit the like button if you like it, of course.
Yeah, so this is the chart for gold, and after it
Wow.
smashed through the last three tops, look what happened. I think a lot of people just took profits because how much it rallied in the last 1-2 months. Like 20 almost 20% for an asset class which is above 13 trillion dollars. Like it's crazy this kind of moves. It's crazy after
Yeah,
this.
it's crazy,
So
but
it was a
I wonder
downtrend.
why. Like how is this liquidity going? Because you have the stock market going towards all-time high, you have Bitcoin recovering, going towards all-time high, you have gold at all-time high, over
Yeah,
all-time high. So how is
overall time.
this, like, where is the liquidity coming from? That's the question. Is like there is a theory that a lot of asset managers are repositioning now towards the end of the year. Do you believe that, or is just speculation at this point in time? Because I think might be
Okay,
something real, but I don't think it's enough to like do this.
if you want to speak about like some type of theories, since we might and we already see, I've seen some reports, and if I'm watching the Federal Reserve tool, I see that there is a 50% chance that we're gonna get at least one hike by March 2024, right? So if we're gonna get a hike by March 2024 and the markets are forward looking like a lot of people are saying, it means that first of all, we're gonna have at least one FOMC meeting where Powell/FOMC members, but led by Powell, will say that they paused. They didn't say it until now, right? Maybe they signaled, maybe they gave some hints that the hiking cycle is done, but they didn't clearly admitted it that the hiking cycle is it's over, right? So we didn't have an official pause. So until now, so it's in the next 3 months, we should have for the next, I think we have 3 meetings until then. We should have an official meeting in which Powell admits that they paused, and another meeting when they are cutting. So what has to happen in the next 4 months? Because what has to happen in the next 4 months in the United States or globally in order for the Federal Reserve to cut rates? I mean, why would they cut rates if inflation is still under the 2% inflation target right now, right? So it's 3 something.
Over, yeah, it's over.
Over.
Yeah.
So it's over. So what has to happen in the next few months to determine Federal Reserve and Powell to cut the rates? Because if they cut the rates and inflation is not contained, they can reaccelerate. So this is the framework. Now, coming back to gold, because markets might be forward looking and they
I have a comment here. So you think
sure.
that now the market is pricing in, which I think as well. So it's pricing in that cut, right? Is that what
Exactly.
you're? Yeah. So
This is where I'm going with the gold. I mean, maybe
yeah,
people just reallocated to some safe havens and they are hedging, but I don't understand why they're not hedging also with VIX. Who knows? Maybe there's a different type of strategy because they still see that we have the volume crash, but they're allocating to gold because they know that even if something really bad happens, gold will still be much more stable than other assets. So this can be a theory, right? Because the markets are seeing a potential 50% chance of Federal Reserve cutting the rates in such a short notice. So it's like less than almost a quarter, so 3 to 4 months. It means that has to happen based on this data, right? Based on this data, something will break or something will pop, which will determine Federal Reserve to cut the
to cut.
rates. And because of that, maybe a lot of bigger asset managers just made some big allocations to gold, even at these crazy values, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 1,800, 1,900, even 2,000, in order to have 10, 15%, or who knows, a big chunk out of their portfolio in a safe haven like gold in case shit hits the fan.
Yeah, so cutting, so for people who are like maybe new to the macroeconomics, usually when the Federal Reserve cuts is like something bad is happening, like a recession basically. So it's like it's good before because the market is pricing in that, but when it happens, usually it's bearish, right? That's how usually the markets
Correct.
tend to react to that kind of scenario. So maybe we're going towards that, it's the last how do you call it, how should I call it, maybe not the last pump, but
I can tell you how should you call it, like with the Michael Jordan movie, The Last Dance.
the last dance. Okay, so the last dance before bad data being bad data, right? Because for now,
Yes,
since like a year and a half, like bad data was good data, right? So at some
exactly.
point bad data is going to be bad data. So it's going to be that switch. So maybe we're going towards that. We're going to talk about maybe some allocation for 2024 and how you see
Sure.
2024 after. I'll put it on the list. But yeah, let's continue with gold.
What I think right now is that, first of all, we have a clear intention because we went above the other previous highs, right? Above 2000, 2070, I would say. So we had three tops and all the time they failed. I would not want to see gold giving up this previous resistance, right? I don't want to see it immediately going lower because a big deviation in one direction can mean a potential move, like a potential bigger move to the opposite direction. I wanted to see it stable, and I really don't want to see it under 2000 because it means that we just had some profit taking. So for now, this is what I see on gold. But I really think that one of the biggest, besides this theory, and by the way, this is just a theory to the people that are watching, this is just a theory which I was thinking with Daniel right now. But I think that one of the biggest reasons is that besides something bad that which might happen in 2024, people are seeing the dollar going still lower for the next few months, right? Because euro dollar is still in a bullish trend as long as it's going to stay above 1.0775, which was the May June 2022 highs, as we can see from here, and it was a major area a lot of times since that time. Because euro dollar is still in a bullish trend and the pound is still in a bullish trend, USD JPY is going lower, USD CAD is going lower, and USD CHF is going lower. So basically all the major currencies within the DXY basket are putting pressure on the DXY. This means that the DXY, and we can see DXY lost 103.7, which was also a confluence of supports because it was the intersection between the daily moving average 200, the white line, and the big monthly support from this area, 103, 107. So what we had here, we had the break, bearish retest, and now most likely we're going to have a continuation. As long as we're going to stay under 103.7, I'm going to be very bearish on the dollar. Above 104.5, I'm going to turn neutral, and above 105.3, guess what? I'm going to turn again bullish on the dollar. However, right now I'm bearish on the dollar because of the way euro dollar is looking, pound, USD JPY, CAD, and CHF. So I think, now going back to gold, that also a lot of traders are seeing gold towards the ends of the year, maybe to 101.3, maybe even to 100. And we all know that when DXY or the dollar gets softer, precious metals and risk assets have a better time. So maybe they also gonna try, not they're gonna try, they also front ran a little bit of this dollar weakness in the next few weeks, months.
Yeah, it's interesting with the dollar because it has a nice bounce right now, but probably it's gonna
Yeah,
be a rejection. Like it's a high probability for that, in my view, for the dollar. So probably that's why the market it's like considering I don't know the trend in a riskier asset class to be good at this point because the dollar is not that high anymore, and it's kind of in a downtrend, let's say. So I think it's
especially
good. Maybe
we
we
had this
yeah,
distribution.
yeah,
Maybe we
yeah,
had
yeah.
this
I think we talked about
distribution. We
this.
started a
Mhm.
downtrend. Yeah, we talked about it this last time.
Yeah, we talked about that distribution or a fake out. If you go on the weekly, I think I looked at it a little bit on the weekly time frame for the dollar. It looked like a small fake out, and now, yeah, as you pointed out right there, it has like a nice channel that it's like going right now. So it might go a little bit higher there. Should be a chance to go a little
It
bit
can print
higher.
another. It can
I
print
think
another lower high here.
mm, I think it's gonna bounce hard again from the 100 level again, like in my view, or if it
It
dips
can.
below.
It can.
That, yeah, I
It
think
can. It can.
2024 might bring that bulls back to the dollar at some point. If the recession will hit, of course, in 2024, the dollar probably will go back up, but we'll see. Now we don't have a confirmation for any recession right now, but we'll have to wait to see the data. And we're going to speak about what's going to happen this year with inflation, not inflation, with unemployment, right? Yeah, I think this is
Sure.
unemployment on Friday. It's unemployment on Friday. I
We have
can share
NFP on
this.
Friday.
Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Let me share. Let me share this and go a little bit for this, and then maybe go back to Bitcoin a little bit and see what's there. Let me know if you see my screen and if everything is okay. Um,
Uh,
yeah, should be fine, I think.
yeah, it's good now.
Yeah, perfect. So I think Friday, this is to watch. In my view, I think inflation it's still like under control, but this is something that we need to watch, or I'm gonna watch very very closely. Is the unemployment rate, which right
Mhm.
now it's like expected at 3.9. So I think we might have a surprise here, in my view. Like in non-farm payrolls, I can see here the consensus is like what 180. The forecasted 160 here. So I think we might see some kind of surprise here with non-farm going below 1,000, 100K, not 1,000, 100K, and
Below
unemployment.
100K.
Yeah, and the unemployment probably maybe go 4%. So we
Wow.
might see that, or we might see
Wait a second.
100K, 100K
Wow.
here. Yeah, I think
If
we
this
might see a surprise finally in the
if
Friday.
NFP comes under 100K like you're saying, DXY goes in that day under 101.3. That
I
level that I
think the
showed.
DXY gives some signals right now that we're
Okay.
probably not gonna see a good read here. Maybe not
Okay.
under, but probably close to 100. I don't know this forecast. I know the data is kind of inconsistent, and they
And it gets
revise
revised a
it.
lot.
Yeah, it gets revised a lot, but I think we're gonna see under 160 and probably closer to 100. I don't know if we're gonna see. I don't know if we're gonna see under, but close to that, and probably 4% here, maybe a 4%, maybe 3.9. I don't know. It's still December. We need to consider that it's still December. That means that we're gonna see the data from what? From November, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm not sure if November was that great for the
It's good. It's good. I'm looking in the
market.
data. I'm looking in
Yeah.
the data since 2019. So I went to 2019. Let me check also 2018. In November, so in 2019 was higher than expected. 2019 was higher than expected. 2020 was higher than expected. 2021 higher than expected. And now we are 2022 higher than expected. So in the last 5 years,
Okay.
all Novembers
Wow.
beat the expectations.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Interesting stat that you got there. So I'm kind of against
Yes,
the
yes, yes. You're
odds
against the
right now.
consensus.
I'm kind of against the odds, but probably I don't know. I have this feeling that the job market's not that strong. Was not that strong last month. So I think we might see some kind of surprise being under forecast here, and probably here we're gonna see a 4%, but we'll see. DXY, what's the DXY now? Let me see, 103.2. Yeah, I think we might see a bounce from the DXY. I think we might see a bounce from the DXY. Let me share this one.
Sure.
I think we might see a bounce, maybe 104, maybe in this area 105, maybe here, and then maybe we're gonna see a deeper pullback. But in my view, looks decent now for like a small uptick here for the DXY. You
But
know, and this.
in order for that to happen, NFP has to come higher for the DXY to go higher.
So you say that this needs to come high. You mean the unemployment rate, right? 4%.
No, the unemployment rate needs to come lower, because if the unemployment rate if these numbers come higher,
But you
it
don't
means
think
that
you
it
don't
means that
think
the
we're in the scenario where bad news is bad news?
no, not yet, not yet,
Not yet. I think
no.
we're getting there. I
We
think we're
might,
getting there.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
I think.
might, but these numbers
Look,
are really, really low.
look. If I see this over 4%, if I see this close to 100, I think the DXY will pump. Let's see. Let's see.
Really,
Yeah,
that would catch a lot of people off guard, I think.
that's how I see it. It
Yeah, it's
doesn't.
interesting. It's
Yeah,
an interesting
because I think
perspective.
we're getting close to that level of like bad news being bad news.
You're gonna be the
So.
Grinch who stole Christmas, Daniel.
No, no, not really, not really. I don't think it's gonna have that of a big of an impact right now. I think the bigger impact is gonna come next year when maybe the
Hmm.
unemployment is gonna go to 4.2, and we're really gonna see some pain. It's either probably December or January. I think January, February, and March. If I want to talk a bit about 2024, I think in the first 3 months, I think we're gonna see a correction in most assets. In my view, I think we're gonna see a correction in Bitcoin, in the stock market, in gold. I think we're gonna print some local tops beginning of 2024, and I think we're gonna have a pullback. It doesn't mean it's gonna be like a bear market. I think it's gonna be close to a local top, and then we're
Hmm.
probably gonna have a few months of sideways. Also for Bitcoin, we're gonna have probably the January approval of the ETF, and then going like a few months before the halving. Usually Bitcoin gets a correction, but like 1 or 2 months before, not 6 months to a year before, as it was speculated before in the crypto space. So I think we're getting closer to that level, or when we're gonna see some local tops in most like risk on assets, and maybe non-risk on assets, which like gold is not a risk on asset. So yeah, I think we're getting close to see local tops all around beginning of 2024. If I have a view for that, I don't know if you have a view of how you see beginning of 2024. I'm gonna put this chart on here.
It's too murky for me, so I just want to take it like very, very close, step by step. It's like there are so many things going on, and there are so many things that can go good and also bad in the same time. I just want to in general, I'm a price action trader, and I just follow the price, but even more now, because I think we're in a very murky, exactly like I said, like in a very gray scenario. We don't still know if bad news is good news, or if bad news flip to bad news. We don't know if Fed stopped. We don't know if inflation is not going to pick up after this holiday season. It's like there are a lot of X factors. So what I want to count and base my framework on is price. And I'm still, although a lot of people will tell me, it's like, oh, you're a boomer when it comes to investments. You don't take enough risk right now. I was like, why would I take enough risk? Like, I think I already took enough risk. I was like, why would I take more risk? Even I was speaking to some people last week, and I was like, guys, just be real a little bit. It's like, what do you think that you missed? Gala, for example, I think it's like 35x from the all-time high. And another one that I was watching, I think Theta I was watching last week in an analysis, it's 17x from all-time high. So what the hell did you think that you missed? You didn't miss anything. Don't believe these people who tell you that you missed something. You didn't miss anything. When
Yeah,
Bitcoin is gonna
it's
pull
not
back and it's
about
gonna
it's not
no, it's
about
not
missing
about missing.
anything. It's not about missing anything. I don't know if you think like that. If you think of missing or hitting, I don't think you had enough experience in the markets. It's not how it
True,
works. Like I miss, I hit,
true,
I miss, I hit. It's just all for me. It's all about allocation, and it's a percentage game. In my view,
100%.
it's nothing more than that. But yeah, coming back to Bitcoin here, I think we're getting close. If you remember the scenario, I highlighted from this range here.
Yeah, I
We,
remember.
we
I remember.
yeah, we touched 36K here. I said that this probably is not a normal market with a pullback, and we're gonna go higher. It happened. I
You're
could have
very
been
right with
wrong.
that.
Yeah, I could have been wrong, and this could have played out differently. But yeah, usually this is how Bitcoin works. It's just when it's in an uptrend, it's in an uptrend. When it's in a downtrend, it continues in a downtrend. Till like the trend change. That's how Bitcoin's kind of basic in a way. But then it doesn't give people more opportunity while it gets going. Like it's very hard for like people to chase it, because people chase it and buy and put like a lot of people are shorting it as well. So yeah, they put gasoline to the fire, as they say, and this goes higher. But now I think we're getting closer to that scenario that 40K might be over 40K might be the range where some sellers will come in. Of course, we touched the zero point 0.5 Fibonacci here on this level. We have the 61.8 that comes around 48,000. So I think in this range, a lot of people that took a lot of risk here in this zone, probably they will be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take some out of the table and let the rest to run, to all-time high or whatever. So I think a lot of people will think that, and yeah, a lot of people that did not buy here anything, they'll probably FOMO in around this zone where they will see that Bitcoin is about 42, 44, 45. I was like, okay, I need some, I need some allocation. Like even the big players, like I need some allocation. I don't know, 10%, 5%, 3%. Doesn't matter. And they will put like pressure on the price because the supply is not that much in the market right now, because what happened with FTX, with everything here, like there's not a lot of supply on the exchanges. And now yeah, it's easy in my view with no huge volume. If you put a little bit of volume here, the volume is not great. Let's go to another exchange, but the volume is not
Go to
amazing.
Coinbase. Go to Coinbase because we should see a much bigger
Yeah,
volume.
the volume is not that great. It is good, but it is
I
not
like it,
that.
Daniel. Come on, I like it. I like it. I like it
Yeah,
that it's
it's
constant.
good, but the volume is not everything. People look at
No, it's
volume as
not.
like, oh, volume, 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 volume. It's not volume everything. Like especially in crypto, like volume is not everything. When you look at the crypto markets, it's like how many coins are there? Like what is the narratives and everything. You don't have to look only at the volumes. But as I highlighted here, I think a top in this range, like a local top here, might be something to consider for January, February. In my view, I don't know how high we're gonna go, because I don't see anything till like 48K right now, like anything really consistent. We have this range here a little bit at 42, but once we close a weekly candle about 42, I don't think it's much more till this area here that I'm highlighting at probably 48. But I'm expecting something here in this range to maybe be a local top. But this is Bitcoin, so take it with a grain of salt. But in regards to my analysis, I might take some out of the table in the next month. I might. I don't know how much. Will remain to be seen. But here, usually the sellers are coming in because a lot of
Mhm.
them took some risks here. A lot of them, I don't know, some shorted and they get liquidated and whatever. Some of them are buying higher and so on. So probably here the market is gonna start correcting, pricing in the ETF, pricing in the halving a little bit, because this is what is happening, catching up with the stock market. I think I highlighted that in the last update, that I think Bitcoin is now catching up with the stock market, because stock market went higher before Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not leading. Bitcoin is like lagging right now against the stock market. So it's like catching up a little bit. So I think the odds right now is that maybe we're going to see a local top here. But in markets, anything can happen. So that's why we're talking about probability. There is a higher maybe a probability that we're going to see a local top here than going to all-time high from this level. That's why maybe I'm going to withdraw maybe some risk out of the table in this area, because I took a lot of risks here. So yeah, I
So
took
you
a lot of
also
risks.
you allocated heavily under 30K. You didn't bought nothing about 30K since we broke out in spot.
I haven't bought like my first buy on this bear market was actually in 2021 here. like here, like if you say this is a bear market start, because this might be like some kind of fake out complacency, weird complacency level with this one as well. This is where the first time I bought around 30K first here, and then I bought
First time for the bear market, so we clarify
yes,
for the
first time for the
followers.
bear market. Yeah, I bought way way
Okay.
lower first time for this bear market. So for this bear market I bought here first, and then I continued at 26, 24, I bought a 19, then I bought 18, and I bought 16 here. Then I bought then I sold a little bit here at 25. I bought my position back here at 19. And then we went to this level. I did not buy anything here. I bought this correction here, like this correction here, 25. Okay, so this is all my buys right now, and right now I'm not buying anymore. That's clear, like probably.
What if we pull back to 30K?
My buy now, as you see this arrow here, like my perfect buy here, like my perfect
28.5.
scenario.
I think we spoke about it last time.
So yeah, my perfect scenario here for Bitcoin was the way it was here. You know, I sold here a little bit. I sold here at 25K, and then I bought my position back under 20K. So this was the perfect for me. Like this was perfect. Now I want to see something similar. I want to sell here a little bit, and I want to buy 28K. And usually when Bitcoin is in these trends of like bull market, it has like 30% corrections. So for example, from 42 in this area, a 30% correction will put us at 28.8. There you go. So if this might be the local top, I don't know. We'll have to see. We have nothing right now to say that this is a local top here. And just to be clear, we don't have anything to like highlight that this is a local top. But if this is a local top with my question mark here in this area, a 30% correction will put us, probably 31 to 28. So my perfect buy will be 28. My perfect sell would be here a little bit, not everything. So people will know I'm not a gambler. I'm not a degen, okay, with my portfolio. I'm just playing the probabilities. So sell here a little bit, I don't know, 10, 20% of what I hold, and then buy it back here. So then I'm gonna have something like this. Everyone will panic that everything, like this will be the perfect scenario.
It's over. It's over again. It's gonna be over again.
I will be the happiest ever if this will happen. You know,
I
if this
know.
will be a local top, if this people will say, okay, what's next? Because halving, because ETF, everything approved. Like maybe it's gonna be news that no liquidity for the ETF, or I don't know. A lot of stuff can happen. Usually we have a very good
February?
year, a very bad year, or something like that. so some FUD can still be there for Bitcoin, not like in the past, because right now most of the actors that can create FUD are kind of gone.
You know that I asked the question when you were in vacation, and I don't have an answer for it, and I still don't have an answer for it. And I really think that slowly, especially during this bear market, Bitcoin became anti-fragile.
Yeah, like, I think
what has to happen? What has to
Taleb.
happen, man? Like, exactly, what has to happen actually? Like, okay,
No,
we had
you
CZ,
know,
Binance, FTX, Voyager, BlockFi, China mining ban. What has to happen? Okay, there are two big things in my mind that have to happen, right? One is Tether.
guys, I don't know how it's in other countries, but for example, in Romania, a lot of people still think that Bitcoin is a Ponzi.
Oh yeah,
So like
it's all
most
over
of
the
them,
world. It's all over the world. It's all over the
like
world.
most of them think that Bitcoin is a Ponzi, and they cannot see like the difference between a Ponzi, actual Ponzi, and Bitcoin. Like they cannot see the value. It's like, what is the value? There's no value. It's like there is value. Like a Ponzi.
Let me share something. Let me share something when you're.
So for me, it's crazy that the education is like so low. Of course, maybe other cryptos can be Ponzi's. Like I'm not saying not, but they're Ponzi's in like the stock market, in companies, in everything. And it's not only crypto. Like where are you living? In what?
Can I share something? Because
universe?
you opened a very interesting topic, and I have the definition.
Please.
I have the exact definition of a Ponzi from Wikipedia, right? And not one of them, the biggest red flag, right? And after characteristics of a Ponzi says exactly, according to United States Security and Exchange Commission, so to the SEC, right? High investment with little to no risk. Now, please tell me that Bitcoin does not have a lot of risk. So only from this, you can slap to the face of anybody who calls Bitcoin a Ponzi, because like just from this is like, come on, Bitcoin has a
Yeah.
lot of risk. It has a lot of risk, so it cannot be classified as a Ponzi, even to
Yeah,
the
no,
naysayers,
and it's still crazy, it's still crazy to think that Bitcoin went through what, 13, 14 years, whatever, 13 of transacting, basically, and it did not die. Like, did not die, that's what it is. Like, if it was a Ponzi, it would die, right? First cycle, like whatever, everyone will forget, no value, basically. If there was
Exactly.
no value in Bitcoin, it will die by now. Like, for me, it's clear. Like, if no
I think
value, it die.
we are past that.
Yeah, we are past that, but some people are not. Like, people don't understand what is the value of, like,
Is
decentralized finance, or like transacting from one part of the globe to another part of the globe with no bank, basically, with just me and you, like peer to peer. They don't understand this power at this point in time, like billions of like dollars in transactions
trillions
done
now.
through trillions. Yeah, so people don't really understand all of this after so long. Yeah, and it's crazy to me that they're still going on with that after so much time, and people are still like, yes, it is a Ponzi. Yes, yes,
They
yes,
didn't
yes.
have the aha moment, Daniel. Everybody has a different aha moment,
Yeah, but
and it has to click
the
at some point in time.
it's never gonna click. For most people, it's never gonna click, because that's
Hopefully,
how
hopefully.
that's how it works. That's how it works. Yeah, some people were like still stuck in whatever they want to do, and think whatever they want to do, and do zero research, and just take other people's words for it. It's like, Ponzi and so on. So yeah, I'm kind of used to it, but I thought at this point it's done, like when BlackRock came in. But yeah, they don't they don't even know what BlackRock is. It's like, what is a Blackstone, BlackRock? What are those? Like, they have no idea. So
I
that's what it
have
is.
I
I
have
think
something
there's,
I have something
yeah, go
highlighted
ahead.
here actually for the RSI enjoyers. For the people who usually use RSI either to the downside or either to the top side, without understanding that also RSI, it's a lagging indicator, and you need price action confirmation before you can call the top or before you can call a bottom, right? So the last time, okay, and bear in mind that we had different valuations, right? The last time when RSI was at the current levels, Bitcoin was around $16,000, right? So 16, almost $17,000. So we were just before the bull run. I mean, before we started the mega pump higher. So at that point in time, the RSI on Bitcoin was around 82, and it still went higher. It still went higher for how much time was here? Until when did the RSI place the top? But even with the RSI placing a top, this is very, very interesting, I think. Even with the RSI placing a top, Bitcoin went much higher. So look what happened here. We had the divergence. So I think on weekly, that's why the big drop came. But it didn't came immediately, right? So when Bitcoin, and we're on weekly, right? We were super overbought for how much is this in time? For about almost 2 months. RSI still went
Yeah,
higher from 82. It went still to 95. This is what people need to understand when you call about the RSI, because a lot of people, I think, they're shorting, or they're thinking about shorting right now because the RSI is higher. Imagine, yes, we had
yeah,
different valuations, so the price was twice less. So most likely we're not going to get to 95 maybe, but we still can go higher than a lot of people are expecting. Maybe even, heck, we can go to 52 before we can have that correction. So don't base your analysis on lagging indicators, because this is one of the worst things that you can do. We can still, who knows, maybe we can rally, like I said, towards 52 here, and after, so we can still go to here. RSI can still go to, I don't know, 90-ish, grab some liquidity from here, and after that have that 30% pullback. How much would be 30% from 52? Would put us around 36. And a lot of people then at that point in time, like you said, also maybe we go to 47, 48, but even to 52. I just want to point this out, that even if the RSI, look what happened here. So the RSI topped out in January, and the price still rallied. So how much it rallied? So the price of Bitcoin still rallied 70 freaking percent, and still until we started dropping and we had a divergence, like a bearish divergence in the RSI with the price, right? So don't base your analysis just on RSI or some charts that some people are too lazy to explain, because Bitcoin can still go much higher. One of Bitcoin's biggest properties, one of Bitcoin's most interesting properties, is to prove specialists wrong, both
oh
to
yes,
both to the top side and also to the downside. I think this is one of the coolest properties that Bitcoin has. It can go much higher and it can drop after that much lower than people expect, right? So that's why I think you should think in probabilities. That's why I think you should have a plan. That's why I think that in most of the cases you should have dry powder, meaning money on the side, but also it's maybe a good idea to not be fully allocated, right? But in general, it's a good idea to have a plan. So when you're going to see some RSI charts, please bear in mind that RSI can go much higher than people are expecting, even on weekly, like I'm saying here, before price action can
I have
confirm that we
no.
can go lower.
Yeah, I totally agree with the RSI. I think the RSI can stay there for a while. Like it can stay in the overbought for a while. It's not like the RSI goes to overbought and yeah, we're gonna crash 50% or something. It's not working like that, because if it would, everyone would be a billionaire by now. It's like, yeah, we see the RSI high, we sell, we buy low. So that's it,
Exactly.
game over. Yeah, it's not working like that. Yeah, RSI, I'm not looking that much at RSI. I'm gonna show you what I look at RSI in a second. On ETH, I think
Just
ETH
one,
is
just one thing.
yeah.
Just one thing before I share with you the screen. I mean, before I drop the screen and let you share. Look what happened also to the other type of scenario, right? So the RSI was at like what, super oversold on weekly. We bounced, but we printed another low. So
Yeah,
although the RSI printed another high, RSI went higher and it printed another low. Although here we went like
it's a
this, right?
divergence. Hmm.
So there it
Yeah,
was a
I
bullish
think
divergence. Right?
that's one way to use it. Maybe as looking at divergence on RSI, not like,
I
yeah,
think
it's
you're
very
right. That's one of the most important things, to look at the
overbought.
divergences.
Yeah, the way I look at it more is like the top basically for Bitcoin. That's why I don't think we might be there, because this has some room to go, and which, I mean, it's Ether USD.
Right.
I think this still has a little bit of room to go, to 2.6, maybe 2.7. Who knows? Maybe this can like shoot up to 3K. I'm not sure, but the RSI is catching up. Like, look where the RSI is now. So last time we were at the RSI here in this range, and I was like
Mm-hmm.
slowly grinding here. So it's catching up a little bit to Bitcoin, but I think this needs to go in the oversold, overbought
Overbought.
as well, because it was not here since November 2021. So like 2 years, right? Yeah, 2 years and a little bit. This did not touch this zone. So I think once these go to overbought as well, we're gonna get closer to a local top. But I think Ether here is the one to watch in my view, because this
Mm-hmm.
maybe has more room to go than Bitcoin from my perspective right now, because Bitcoin is gonna go slower and slower. The way it works is like market cap. Like, yeah, you can push it, but once you get to a certain level, you need more money poured in, and more money and more money poured in, because of the market cap. It's like how math works. Usually that's
True.
why gold is not moving more than what, 10% out of all-time high. I don't remember how much it did, like in 10 years or whatever, because it's hard to move it. So that's why Ether has more room to go in my view. Once it's going to get started, I don't think it's there, but I think once we pass the ETF for Bitcoin, I think the market's gonna flip. Totally. In my view, it's gonna flip to Ether at that point in time. So it's like gonna be like, I don't know, Ether just going up or something like that. Ether like taking the stand in the market, and the rest probably are gonna just chill a little bit. So that's how I see it, but I don't think it's gonna happen till the ETF for Bitcoin is gonna be approved. I think we need that moment of like, boom, okay, it happened. We can relax now. We can chill. We have it, whatever. And now we need to search for something else to focus on. And I think that focus is gonna be clearly Ether at some point next year. We'll see, but I think this has room to go. 2.5, 2.6, very nice. A lot of people think this is Wyckoff distribution, which in my view it's kind of wrong, because if this was Wyckoff with like 3 highs right here, this low should have been here. Like that's everything that I have to say about Wyckoff here, because Wyckoff usually is like this zone, and then it prints another low, and then it prints some kind of a ascending triangle, which we did not see here. So I don't agree with that at this point in time. I think if Bitcoin has to catch up to the stock market, Ether needs to catch up with Bitcoin. Sometimes things are simple, and maybe maybe we should keep it simple from my perspective. I think now
Sure.
Ether needs to catch up a little bit here. Maybe 2.6, maybe a shoot higher. Let's draw like a basic Fibonacci here, basic one. 0.5 will be 3K. So if this will do the same as Bitcoin, let's say, in regards to the bounce, in regards to Fibonacci, 0.5, it's here, 2.9K. 38.2, which Ethereum did not touch at this point, is 2.45. So in this range. So I think this has room to go. And till this will not go to this area, I don't think we're going to see a bigger correction. Like once Ethereum goes to this level, I think we're going to see a 30% pullback. 30% is like decent. I think we see, yeah, let's see here. Here it was 60 something, but this was bigger in 2021. Let's see this smaller one. The smaller, yeah, 36%. So 37% here. It went to 2.1 and then 1.3. Decent correction here. Let's see at Bitcoin. I'm interested in this range.
25. I think it was around 25%.
25, probably 25 to 30. This one, yeah, this one
Yes,
I'm
yes.
interested in, because kind of the same perspective of a rally. 31 with the, yeah, if you take the week, probably 31.5 in this range. So I think might be. Dominance. You want to look at dominance a little bit?
Bitcoin season. But before you look on dominance, can you go back to Ethereum, because I want to point out something very important.
Yeah, you can take the share. I think it's better that way,
Sure.
I think it's better.
One more thing before you can speak about the dominance, because you study dominance way more than I studied. I just look at some levels. So the important thing that we should note about Ethereum is that the intention of buyers, right? So like I was saying, and I was speaking with Jackie from because Bitcoin, with also you, I think, and also other people, I was saying that here we had a lower high, and as long as we were staying under 2030 and also under 2145, for me it was not enough confirmation that Ethereum has the power to go higher. However, after the clear intentions of when we've seen that Ethereum is above 2145 and printed these two, so the week we closed it here and we have continuation above the previous high, this is a clear intention that the price wants higher. And the only thing that we need to see right now is that weekly the candle needs to stay above this level. So we don't want to see a deviation and going lower. As long as we stay above 2145, any pullback and bounce, it's for buying, and we can attack the levels like we're going much higher, because we went above this downtrend. We broke above some important levels from here. We took out the lower high plus the high from here. For me, it's enough confirmation that now any pullback on Ethereum, which holds above 2145 and bounces, is either for adding some Ethereum or for longing. However, I most likely I'm just gonna trade it and I'm gonna long it on futures, because still, in my opinion, it's Bitcoin season because of the ETH BTC chart. So in order for me to be even more bullish on Ethereum, I just wanted to see it like we were speaking last time above 0.061 to break this super big macro downtrend. And at that point in time, someone asked in the comments, we might see also an extended alt season. Until then, I think that the broader altcoin market is still going to go lower against Bitcoin. That was the thing that I wanted to add, because this is an important piece of information, because we took out this high. We closed the last week above 2145.
What's the target?
Intention from the buyers.
What's your target for Ether? What's your target for Ether?
I want to see this area, so 2,300 taken out, and after that I have almost like 2,500. It's around this the weeks from here, and also when we broke into the bear market. So I have it a little bit lower, 2,000 in the mid 2,500s, so around this area.
Yeah, and we will see something interesting if you go to futures.
We need to stay like here above this area.
Yeah, if you go to futures and Ethereum 1 and an exclamation mark, you're gonna see that we have a gap there as well on that range. So I think it fits with your analysis a little bit. If you look at it, Ethereum futures is newer than Bitcoin future. It's Ethereum 1 and exclamation mark. I think that's how you're gonna find it. It's ETH1, ETH, so ETH1.
ETH1.
Yeah, ETH1 and exclamation mark. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
There you go. Yeah, so you see, yeah,
Yeah, you're talking about the gap here. Yeah,
yeah,
on
yeah,
CME, I don't know about these gaps.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
it can be filled. It can be
Gaps
filled.
are gaps.
It can be filled.
Yeah, I think
It
so. I
can be
think
filled.
so. Like Bitcoin, and then we'll see if, yeah, exactly, something like that. I think we're gonna see, and I think that's my theory. I think once we're gonna see that from Ethereum, I think we're gonna be closer to Bitcoin doing a 30% correction. Question is now, if you have the dominance chart. Question is now, what
I do.
are altcoins gonna do when Bitcoin's gonna correct? Because since now, in this bear market, like Bitcoin, when Bitcoin went higher, the altcoins were bleeding like they do right now. And
Hmm.
that was a correct analysis from my side as well. When Bitcoin went down, the altcoins really were like stable and actually rallying against Bitcoin when Bitcoin was going down. But I don't know now what's gonna happen, because Bitcoin really rallied, and now if Bitcoin is gonna pull back 30%, are we gonna see an inversion now?
No,
Well, once
I
Bitcoin is
my
gonna
my opinion, if Bitcoin pulls
go
back, sorry to
down.
interrupt. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
if Bitcoin pulls down between 25 to 30%, I really think that altcoins can bleed between 50 to 60% from here. If Bitcoin
Okay.
drops 25, 30%, yeah.
Yeah, because now I'm not sure anymore if it's gonna stand, that test, that if Bitcoin goes down, the altcoins are gonna be stable, like more stable than Bitcoin. But yeah, look at the dominance. What do you think about the dominance? Looks extremely bullish.
Yeah, Bitcoin season, buddy. That's why I said on Twitter, and I'm still gonna stand my ground. It's like we need some dynamics, right? So we need a couple of things to happen, not a couple, a few things to happen. We need to see total two increasing, all while Ethereum, Bitcoin going higher. So as long as ETH BTC goes like this is the some people don't agree with this, and they have a new meta, and they watch Sol Ethereum, and they watch other things. I'm watching the broader market, right? Of course, we had, like I said, Kaspa, Tia, Solana, Injective, Rune, Render, but they were, I think, under 100 of the medium or small caps, which really rallied. The broader market, and we can see this from total 3, we can see this from total 3, the broader market didn't rally against Bitcoin right now. So in order for us, let me open the clear total 3, because I'm testing some things there. The broader total 3, it's still lower than Bitcoin. So yes, it broke out, but here, technical analysis on total cap, it's like I'm just watching some levels. In order for me to have an alt season, like a proper alt season, I want to see this type of moves, like we had here, this type of moves,
Yeah.
or this type of moves. On those types of moves, Bitcoin dominance, most likely when we had these rallies, Bitcoin dominance was falling and Bitcoin was stable. So Bitcoin was stable. So BTC was stable, like was equal, right? ETH BTC was going higher on those moves, and total 3 was also going higher, right? So this is the type of dynamic that I want to see in order for an alt season. Right now, we don't have that. Yes, we had some bounces, but we are at the same levels from here, from here, from here. In order for us to see an alt season, we need this type of rally on total 3
Yeah, I
for the
agree.
people
And
who are
someone
expecting.
someone
And
asked me Someone asked me
I'm
where
sorry.
when is the pullback coming, because he want to buy Fetch AI, at 40 cents. I think now it's like 55 or
I,
something. And I was like,
I'm also
yeah,
watching
what's
Fetch.
the
I'm
difference?
also watching Fetch.
Yeah, I was like, what's the difference of buying now or at 40 cents if this will go to $10? Because that if that will happen, like if altcoin season will come at some point, there's a huge
Sure.
potential, Like what's the difference if you have that target for Fetch AI? Like what was really the difference if Fetch AI is gonna go to $10? Because that might be a target, maybe more if it's gonna repeat 2021 or who knows 2017.
Actually,
So um,
I was having Fetch AI on my list, and for now we didn't have acceptance. This analysis was done last week. We didn't have acceptance above 0.54, and 0.54 is actually quite a big area. But I agree with you. It's like if you're, let me remove the drawings. If you're watching this for a longer period of time, and you have Fetch AI on your list, like why do you care if it's here? Just DCA into it, and even if it's gonna rally a bit higher, you still have like what, more than 2x
yeah,
until the previous all-time high. and it's also on the right narrative. I think it has not such a big market cap, so it can easily do from here 4-5x. But people want just better entries in general, right?
Yeah, and they
I think
might
that
get it, but
pullbacks, like I
people,
was saying for some time, pullbacks are for buying from now on, as long as Bitcoin stays above 30K on altcoins and on some
yeah.
of these dominant ones, because Fetch AI was around the leaders of the market.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And people don't understand that local tops usually takes time to form. It's not like it's gonna be like
Exactly.
on like the second we're gonna crash. If you're gonna see a big crash or something similar, you might have a tentative 3 month sideways with smaller crashes, 20%, 25%, then another rally, then another crash, then another rally. Like you can look at 2019, how it developed. Like I think it took 8 months in order to go from the top to the bottom, like 8 months I think it was. So it's not like straightforward, like, oh, correction is coming tomorrow,
True.
I want to buy 80% correction like tomorrow. That's not what's happening, because that's not the psychology of the market. That's not what the market does. So if I can share screen a little bit and tell you
Sure.
how can the market play with your like feelings and like brain and whatever. So for example, there are people here, right, that are expecting a pullback right now. So they buy here, for example, like they expect this, and then this, I don't know, bounces, goes higher, then it does this, buys here, does this, and goes sideways, and they keep buying here, keep buying here, keep buying here, and then after a few months, crashes, like after a few months that they accumulated this area, for example, how it happened here, like it went here, and then it went to 13K. People accumulated at 9, people accumulated at 8, people accumulated at 7. Yes, we're going to all-time high. People bought here as well, and then this, and
I was
and it's
watching
like,
that actually over the weekend,
yeah,
very
so
interesting.
that's how it happens. That's how it happens. It's hard, it's not easy. Like it's not easy, as this was not easy, like buying this was not easy, like buying this was not easy, like anything here was easy. Like here is gonna be the same, if you're gonna have a pullback, a lot of people expect this, like let's get to another chart, or what. Yeah, let's get to another chart. So a lot of people, what they expect right now, they expect this. Let me just delete this. They're expecting this for Bitcoin to and 100 million. This is what they're expecting right now.
100
This
billion.
is not this is not what's gonna happen. It's gonna question your bias. It's gonna question everything. Before Bitcoin does this, it's gonna question everything you have.
You're wrong, Daniel. We're never gonna pull back. We go directly to 1 million, like Willy Woo said.
We will pull back at some point, but that's what I'm saying. Like people
No,
who are
no
expecting a
pullbacks.
pullback,
No
people who expect
pullbacks.
a pullback, they will think that the pullback is going to be easy for them to buy. It's not going to be easy to buy that pullback, because you're going to see something like this, bam, bam, maybe this, and bam, 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 and you'll see something like this that is going to, like, your brain is going to go sideways, like the action price, the price action, until you like go somewhere. It's not like, oh yeah, a pullback, yes, pullback, yes. It's not like that, like it was
It was
here a lot.
interesting until now because it was quite
But look
like,
at this. But look at this.
yeah,
But this was hard. This was
yeah,
hard to
it
buy.
was.
This
It
was
was.
hard
It
to
was.
buy. This, no. We'll see. This is gonna do something like this before it goes up, because it needs to leave some people behind, or like people not to believe, or something like that, as it did before. It's not the first time. If this is not the full chart, but if we go to BLX. Let's see. I think this one. We go to BLX and we take history and we look here in this range. Here, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm buying here. Yeah, I'm buying here. Yeah. And then it like did this, did this, did this, did this, and then that. So it's not easy, even though you were in the bottom. Like this was printed in January 2015. The second one, 24th of August 2015. So a few months before. Or if you look here as well, in this range here with this crash here, so
Yeah,
it's
but
not
there were total different market conditions, liquidity
clearly,
different.
but the
Yeah,
psychology,
psychology is the same.
yeah, psychology is the same. It doesn't matter. Like the psychology is the same. Like here as well, a lot of people, this is the bottom, this is the bottom, this is the bottom, this is the bottom. But here, this is the bottom. And then this, and like, okay, we're going to zero. And then we printed the bottom, and then we went higher Here, a lot of people, yes, we
It's
print the
very
bottom.
interesting. It's
You
very
buy
interesting
here.
here because it resembles even this price action when the market cap was way lower and there were not so many
Yeah,
people in the market. It resembles a lot 2019, 2020.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Really,
know why? You know why?
yeah.
Because now
It's
there's
hu-
like
because because human
it's the
psychology
supply,
never changes.
and it's the supply, and it's the
Okay.
supply. That's what it is. It's the supply.
Can,
Like this
can,
was
can you
bad
zoom in?
for.
Can you zoom in a bit because it was something very interesting which you had on the chat. Zoom out. Sorry. Zoom out.
Yeah,
Sorry. More. Just to have also all the other. Look at that move that happened on the second bottom, and the
here.
move. Exactly, that move really resembles with the 9 to December 2019, like that one.
Yeah, like this. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It resembles because yeah, a lot of people will like they will be tested at some point in time. They will be tested. And I think the test for this cycle, like before we go to all-time high, because I think we will this time as well. At some point, the test might be something, I don't know, going to 45, 50, I don't know, and then for 6 months to 8 months just straight down or something like this, and like trend down, maybe not 20K, but 28, 27, 30, or whatever. And then there's gonna be no narrative, like here, 2024, no narrative. So with no narrative, it's hard to keep people like, oh yeah,
I
narrative.
cannot wait. I cannot wait to rewatch these kickoffs that I had with you in 6 months from now. Ah, my
Yeah,
God.
me too, me too, me too. Again, people need to take this with a grain of salt. We don't actually gonna know what's gonna happen. We just speak about probabilities and history. History is good to know, but sometimes it happens differently. So that's why it's interesting to look at this, have a plan, like have a percentage of how you allocate your capital, take everything into consideration, and act. Like the decision is yours. In the end, the decision is yours. You take the information, you put it to your mind, you think that this that, and then you take the decision. Is this going to go to all-time high? And we'll see. If this is going to go sideways and do this scenario, what are you going to do? That's the question. Like, what are you going to do here? Like, are you going
Have
to
a
be with
plan,
all the
guys.
people, it's over, or
Have a
are you going
plan.
to understand what's happening? Because let's talk about 2022, because I don't know, I tend to look like what can happen, and put that maybe into some kind of my analysis. But I think what might happen, like to cause this, would be one, a recession, like that can cause this. Two, can be an approval of ETF
Right.
with a halving. Yeah, both. And Bitcoin will not go above all-time high. So both of them, imagine we're in March, April here, and Bitcoin trades at, I don't know, 48, whatever, and then the halving happens, and then we have the ETF, and we cannot break all-time high. Imagine what people will say. Oh, Bitcoin had this all good rally, all these like good scenarios, BlackRock ETF, but cannot break above all-time high. That, and then the ETF will be like, oh yeah, the ETF is approved, but there's no liquidity. No one wants to buy it. You might hear that. Like,
I don't think
I-
so.
I'm just saying, that what might be, because in a
Yeah.
recession
Okay.
scenario, liquidity not being there might be that scenario that is not going to be enough demand in the first year for the ETF, and you might
Hmm.
see something like that. Like there's no liquidity, there's no nothing, and then we might see a 6 months to 8 months pullback here, and then the volumes are gonna come, and then things are gonna get better, and so on. Liquidity is going to come back to the market. So it's something to take into consider. That's one scenario, of course, that maybe I'm ready for. The other one is just going straight to all-time high, from here. Like that's all. And like go straight to all-time high, print one, two, I don't know, three. We're going to talk about that if that happens, and we'll see where this is going, because going from here to all-time high in one move, like this, I'm not sure if it can like really break 100K, like, and go above how people want. It might be some kind of another Wyckoff in this scenario with three tops around this range, like 80K, 85, 90K. But yeah, so I don't want to see that. If Bitcoin is gonna really go on a run and be 150, 200, whatever, It needs some kind of a this scenario. If it does this and just goes straight up, probably it's not gonna do more than 90k, 80, 90k, and
Let
then
me
top
explain
out.
also to the people why you're also giving this. A lot of people who are now sidelined, and also people who want to buy more. And that's why me and Daniel all the time say, or especially I say, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but corrections are very healthy when they happen, and they still keep the market structure
Yeah,
positive, right? Because it
correct.
gives the chance also to other people join who are not joining the rally, thus giving more liquidity to the market to print other highs and push the price higher, plus other people who also joined the market and they were in that rally to add more. This makes the asset, regardless if it's Bitcoin, DXY, Euro, S&P 500, go higher. So whenever we have this kind of retracements, but we respect the macro structure and we don't go under some previous higher lows when we have a bullish structure, this means that the more people join the rally, they add to the fuel and we go much higher, and we can go much higher. Instead of just going in one candle, we can see some weird moves, we can see some liquidity pickups, we can see a lot of leverage, and we need a flush from the market.
Correct. And if the pullback is not coming, then you're wondering when the pullback is coming, why is it coming?
Yes,
Like,
yes,
know,
correct,
like
correct.
why? Why is the pullback coming? Like, a lot of people don't understand the psychology of the market. And yeah, that's why we're here. Like, if this will go here, for example, and then you're gonna have a pullback down to this level, like, why? you know, you're gonna ask yourself why. Like, let's say Bitcoin goes to 80k here, cannot break, go higher, and then it breaks below 46 and goes to like 35, 40. It's like, why? Like, why is this the market giving me this pullback? Is it to be a back holder for the next 3 years? Or is it to go to 200k? So question people, question, like, most of the things in the markets, when they're like, question them. It's like, why is this market giving me these opportunities? Like, why, like, is this not giving me an opportunity right now? And like, question and like analyze what you did good and what you did wrong, learn like an
Missed
AI,
the rally.
and
Missed the
like
rally from 30k. You didn't
yes,
FOMO in. No, we're never gonna have a pullback. We're gonna go to 250k directly, Daniel. You don't know anything.
yes, correct. And next time maybe you're gonna be ready, like, yeah, be
Yeah.
an AI. That's my, like, be like water, like an AI, have data, analyze it, like, learn. And yeah, that's how you can make really profit from the market and take from the market, and not market take from you. Because yeah, most of the market takes from you. Market is not your friend. Like, it's not your friend, will never be your friend.
True. I have something interesting that I want to share, which falls in line maybe with not such. I mean, at least with maybe a local top that we're talking about. I think. Can I share it, or you finished
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this,
yeah.
or?
No. I'm finished. Yeah, I finished with my rant.
Perfect. On AUDJPY, we spoke about this, and we were speaking that this, at least for some forex traders and also other traders in general, this is viewed as a global risk on, risk off. When because of the AUD and the JPY, Australian dollar is considered the weaker one. Japanese dollar, like I said last time when we were speaking, I think along with the dollar and the Swiss franc, are considered safe havens to the forex traders. So here we were seeing that here it was a top, it was another top. However, here we placed another high. I noticed that slowly, with the latest price action in the last, sorry for that, in the last month or so, we're printing an, okay, we had another high, although we didn't went above these highs, but we're printing some sort of a rising wedge. This is secondary to price action, of course. However, if we're losing 97 area and this transforms into a deviation and we're going lower, and we break also under 96, this will tell me that most likely this was another top. So it was the third top from here. This is a deviation, and a deviation in one side most of the times shows a bigger move to the downside. This can fall in line because this can be towards January, mid-January, towards the February, falls in line with what we were speaking regarding the first Fed cuts, which are already priced in, or the markets are seeing them towards March. If this happens, this shows to me that we can go towards a risk off sentiment for some time. And I think last time when we are talking about this, remove, no, not indicators, remove drawings. let me correlate this with something very interesting. Line S&P 500, and let's take it from. Look at this correlation between these two asset classes.
Oh wow. Okay, it's Japanese yen, right?
It's Australian dollar with the Japanese yen. That's why it's called the risk on,
Yeah.
risk off. But not a lot of people are talking about this enough. So when we see, look at this. I mean, this was so correlated in the last move, but also from here, from here, also on this move, also on this move in consolidation, also on the last rally. And I didn't even check today S&P 500, to be honest, because I didn't have time. I was about to check it before the United States market would open. However, like I was saying, if I remove now S&P 500, then I see that AUD JPY is turning lower, and I add this, it can tell me that, going back to what I'm following, if this rising wedge will play out, and price action is going to confirm it, but in order to confirm it, it needs to go under these levels. So most likely I will short it under 96-ish, and this is how it can look for a potential short, something like this for a 1 to 2 first risk reward, and go much lower. But the target for this potential rising wedge, because it's potential, we don't have confirmation right now, the measured projected target would be somewhere around 87. So quite of a big drop
like
for this. I will follow up with this, and we can speak about it once in a while, because if this goes lower, this is going to be the target. So you measure it from here with the breakdown from here, so it's around 87. Imagine if AUD JPY does this, what type of global macro scenario we can have. Like I said, it can follow in line with what we were seeing, what you were saying, that the first quarter of 2024 we might see a local top in risk assets. So somewhere around this area. I don't know if or when it's gonna happen, but I want to follow up on this. So I'm gonna bring it up
I like
to the
that.
Monday kickoffs from time to time.
Yeah, I like the setup and I like the correlation. Very very interesting. I'll keep an eye on it as well. 100%. Guys, if you have anything that you want us to discuss in regards to, I don't know,
Some
technical
questions.
analysis, macro questions, just leave them in the chat right now, either on YouTube or Twitter, maybe more on YouTube because it's easier. And yeah, we had over 100 people today, so slowly the audience is building up here as well, so it's good to see. And if you like the content, just press the like button and share with a friend if you still have some after this bear market in crypto. And so yeah,
That is fun.
yeah, just leave a comment. What do you guys want us to look at right now, because we are towards the end, not the crypto end or the Bitcoin rally end, but the end of the show today. So yeah, just leave your comments. And yeah, what altcoins do you follow right now, Mr. Spread? You said you're looking at Fetch AI, right?
I'm
It
looking
has
at
a nice dip.
Fetch,
Today.
Fetch, Illuvium, Ocean, Ordi, AJ, Singularity. So I have yes, Marius, also Tia. There are some altcoins which I'm. Let me tell you which I have now on my.
Yeah, maybe the stock market is opening, right? Maybe we can open the stock market first on Bloomberg, or do you want to just go with the analysis?
Very
Your
fast,
call.
very fast on Illuvium. I have this sequence of higher highs and higher lows. I have this target on Illuvium, and if it's gonna hold above 100, it's gonna print most likely a higher low on this sequence. And at that point in time, if I have a retest of the 100 without breaking under 100, of course, so we don't lose this macro structure. So I think around 97, even with some liquidity pickup, so something like this, I might look for a long. Longs in this kind of structure are favorite and are plus EV. So if you take 100 longs in this structure and you take 100 shorts, the same values, the same risk to reward, the same size, the same leverage, the ones who are going to be more profitable, probabilistically, of course, are going to be the longs in this kind of structure of higher highs and higher lows. So from here, I would look to either long it if we get a bounce with a stop loss under these levels and targeting another higher high somewhere around this area. So this is what I'm watching for Illuvium. And of course, like I was mentioning, if we're gonna have that type of pullback and we're gonna save some macro structure on Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is an absolute beast, I might also look to add in some of these altcoins like Illuvium, Fetch, not Gala, and these ones I was just analyzing previously. But Ocean, and this was a trade which I also posted on Twitter. By the way, this is something very interesting to watch on. So just notice not the correlation, but the similarities between the market structure between Illuvium market structure, which now goes towards a higher low, and when I press the button on Ocean, because of the same type of scenario. We had the low, we had the high, we had the higher low, we had the higher high, we had the higher low, and I was targeting again another higher high. So the same, pretty much the same things, although here is on daily and this is on 4 hours. We have almost the same type of potential setup. So if I see Illuvium here and a potential bounce, I'm going to target a higher high, because like I said, in these bullish market structures and in these bullish sequences, you are going to be in much better shape if you're looking for longs and not for short. And regarding, you're saying something regarding the traditional markets, right? Like S&P?
Yeah. The stock market opened on red, I think 0.5, 0.7, I think right now, minus 0.7 at the open. And I think Mark Zuckerberg announced that he's gonna sell some shares in like 2 years. Maybe we can go on Meta if you have it, or is that the stock market? Yeah. Okay. So that's the SPX, right? That you're having on right now.
This is the SPX. I had this level around 4,600. So basically the previous highs, which we were around this area, we can see how important was this level. Even from here, I don't remember exactly. I think it was from the last time when we were speaking, but this area was very, very important. So 4,600, we rejected from here, and maybe this is going to be the local top. Who knows? I'm not looking to short S&P 500 now. Even on a pullback, I still think it's healthy. And actually, this is what I was looking for. If we pull back towards 4,420, which was here the first new high, I might look for a long, as long as we stay above this area. So this is the type of market structure which I was looking at. Imagine people are saying the same about Bitcoin, that is never going to pull back. On S&P 500 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5 weeks of growth, and people were saying, okay, we're going to go to 4,800, 5K. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for a pullback, and not that type of pullback, I'm going to go long. The same thing on Bitcoin. So I will wait, I will see how this is going to react, and on that type of pullback, I'm going to go long. So this, think about 4,420 on S&P 500 as 32K for Bitcoin, right? So the same thing.
Yeah, correct.
If this area holds,
correct.
it's just another confirmation, and we have a bullish retest of the previous area, of a previous breakout. And from there, it's going to give the opportunity for more people to join, and who knows, maybe push to the all-time high. So this is what I'm watching on S&P 500. I don't know. For now, I'm not touching it. I don't have any bias, and I mean I'm bullish, but I'm just waiting patiently to see how the retest is gonna look. If we're gonna have a retest, if not, I'm just gonna be on the sidelines.
Yeah, it does look like it. Does look is gonna correct towards the end of the year, beginning of 2024. That's how I see it as well. Yeah, I can see Mark Zuckerberg announced that he's gonna sell some shares. So it's interesting.
Smart.
Meta is down a little bit. I can share
Smart.
if you want.
Absolutely.
I can share the Meta. So yeah, just ignore this for now. Well, that was my entry basically on Meta, and I sold here 50%. I don't regret, but I sold here at 280, I think 290 in this range, and I still hold 50% of my Meta bought in this area here. But right now it's kind of correcting. Let's see, because I want to rebuy into this at some point, like with my position that I sold. But let's see if it can go maybe lower than 245. So I don't think I'm gonna touch it. Just if it goes, it goes. If it goes down and gives me an entry in this range, I might take it. But it's interesting. What else? We talked last time, I think, about UI path, right? Look at this.
We spoke about a bit UI path.
Yeah, beautiful. It did not give me another pullback to add more to it. It actually broke out 20. Yeah, now it's like 23.84. has a red day. But yeah, let's see if it can hold this level or if this is a fake
It's
out
an
here.
important level. It's an important level.
Yeah,
Daniel.
very important level. But look at this. Look at this. Someone is like buying this, like, and you know what I mean. It's kind of someone maybe with higher capital, as you can see it here. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
like it. Like I like it. It's interesting. I like it. But yeah, I will not touch it here. I bought this range. I don't think I'm gonna touch buy here. We'll see. I think this is gonna perform pretty well at some point. Palantir is the another one that I'm looking at as well. Maybe this one is gonna perform pretty good in regards to stocks and looking decently here. Let's see if it gives a
it had some
pullback. And
consolidation, and after that, it went above
yeah,
that consolidation pattern. Interesting. Very
yeah,
interesting.
looks good. And of course, the queen, which is coin. Let me see if I can find
Ah,
it here.
Coinbase. Oh my god, I think it's
Yeah,
super
coin.
undervalued.
Yeah, coin is. I said last time. I think coin was the easiest play in my view for like stocks. Look at this, like
So similar to
beautiful.
Bitcoin chart. So
Yeah,
similar.
beautiful. Yeah, it's gonna perform probably similar, but as Bitcoin gets to resistance, coin gets to resistance as well
Can
in
you zoom
this
in a little
range.
bit there on
Yeah,
the last candle? That looks like an abandoned baby.
yeah, a little bit. Let's see
You
how it
know
goes
that
because yeah,
that's a yeah. Let's see how this week's close, but if it's gonna stay like that, or if it's not gonna move too much, that can be a reversal pattern. And because an abandoned baby, it's a
I
reversal
agree.
pattern.
I agree. I agree with this. You know what we did not cover? Bonds. Let's see how the bond market
And I think it's gonna be a good place to finish up with that.
to end. Yes. If no more
We had some
questions or
questions.
no.
We had some questions, so if you want, I can answer some of the questions for.
Yeah, let's go straight a little bit to bonds. Bonds
Go
still
on.
holding, yeah, a little bit
So
here to
you're on the
bonds.
yields right now.
Yields, yeah, bond yields. Bond yields.
Okay.
Yes. When I talk about bonds, usually like 99% of the time I'm
Okay.
looking at yields. Just so you know.
Okay.
When I say bonds, I say yields, bond yields. So this is a 2-year bond yield, which still holds, yeah, pretty decently here at 4.6. It- maybe that was the top, but we'll have to see. We have no confirmed top here, and the US 10 still holding, I would say. But yeah, it did break. If we go to daily, it did break a little bit below 4.25 here, like still the yield. So yeah, but it's in a bouncy range. And TLT, let's see, 92. Yeah, TLT. Let's hope TLT will go to that scenario, maybe touching 99 and then do a double bottom at 82 next year. I will probably buy that, but let's see. This one, I was not that sure in regards to this.
Me
Like,
neither.
was a
Me
falling
neither.
knife. Yeah,
Me neither.
but the
It
volume
was a
is
funny
pretty
night.
decent.
It
Yeah,
was.
maybe let's take
It
some
was.
questions.
It was one of
Yeah.
the biggest volumes in history on the TLT. So I'm gonna leave you the first question. We have it from Ana Maria, and she's asking, "What do you think that is the probability of a recession at the start of 2024?"
I think right now the probability, in my view, of a recession in the beginning, it's probably around 30%, because it's gonna go higher if we're gonna print about above 4% on the unemployment, and we're gonna see the PMIs going down. But for now, I think it's 30. If we see unemployment going above 4, and if we see the non-farm going below 100K, then the probability goes to 50%, in my view. But not before. Not before. I think the main scenario will be maybe a recession in Q2, and then be a short-lived one, even though we have a election year. I'm I'm not sure how is that
Oh,
gonna go.
this election
Yeah,
year, I hate this argument.
yeah. It's a kind of a dumb argument because we had the recession in 2008, but I think right
2000?
now
No,
it's
no, not only 2000.
uh,
2000, 2008,
yeah,
2022. If I go back in
yeah.
history, I think there were even more.
Yeah, usually they're like very volatile years, with wars, or like with economic issues. Usually when you have this kind of elections in the US, things happen, so yeah, I think right now I'm not in that scenario that we're gonna see. Like, I don't think the probability is higher than 30% right now for that.
Okay.
I think maybe Jerome Powell is gonna pull a soft landing first, and then the recession is gonna come. That's how I see it.
I
At least
don't believe in a soft landing.
I asked you at some point which one do you think is first, and I think I think soft landing first,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
good. It's good. That's why I love these spaces with you, because we also disagree on some things. So I don't think
yeah,
it's a
we're gonna look
we
at it. We're gonna look at it.
yeah. Yeah, I don't
in
have a
that,
probability, Anna. I don't have a probability. I just think that we might see some pain, economical pain first. I don't know when, Q1, Q2, 2024, before we can see some relief. So, but until
I
then,
see.
this is the in between phase. So there are two in between phases if we're talking about the markets. One is the in between phase, since when, especially Federal Reserve, because they give the tone for the global markets, when they kind of signal that they're stopping the hikes, and between they cut, that's a kind of a Goldilocks phase. And as you can see now, it also falls in line with the in between phase between the bear market and the bull run, right? So because we have this kind of correlations, we are in this kind of fairy tale land. We're going to the everybody's a fucking genius season. Everybody's gonna know exactly where the prices are going. These are the moments when, even if I was before on guard, although I'm gonna buy on the dips, I'm not gonna have the same type of aggressiveness which I had in 2020, 2021, because everybody's a genius season right now, and everybody's gonna be a genius with a lot of plays and a lot of altcoins which might outperform the other altcoins, right? But as we go and as we translate to this kind of scenario, I think that it's a reasonable and it's optimal approach to, even if you go do allocations, to do allocations, keeping in the back of your mind that the markets are pricing a cut in the first quarter of the second quarter of 2024. So now going to another question that we have it from Scriptor.
Before that, can I
Go
add
on.
something? Yeah.
Sure.
So to conclude, I don't think it's a higher probability than 30% for a recession right now in Q1, but I think it's in my book, I think it's a higher than 50% probability of a local top in Q1 of 2024 in the beginning.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
I'm not sure in regards to a recession. But in regards to a top, I think Q1 will probably be that.
We have a question from Scriptor, and he's saying, is it possible, in your opinion, to go to all-time high if we are still in quantitative tightening?
It's difficult, but nothing is impossible. It is possible in this scenario, as a lot of asset managers are like pouring money into the market now at the end of the year, and the market is, as Mr. Spread said, it's expecting like a cut, right? And is doing a price in for that. So in this scenario, it might be likely, with all this like getting together, it might be likely, but it's not gonna hold. That's my view. It's not gonna hold. It's gonna be short-lived.
I would say that it's going to be extremely hard under these current conditions. So I'm not an extremist. I don't like to have extremist views. However, under the current conditions, even with an ETF approval, it's going to be very, very, very difficult under the current conditions. But
Yeah,
like I said, that's why you don't base your framework on your opinions, on your feelings, on your bias.
emotions.
If
Yeah,
emotions, if we go above 52K, which was an important area, I think the all-time high is opened.
yeah, clearly. But yeah,
Daniel,
it's.
I think it's a good place to wrap up, because we're closing to almost to 2 hours, and we might leave something also for the next time.
I agree.
We had another question, and it comes from Andre, and I think we can wrap up with that. I had something, and I will also update the thread. It was on Elrond, because he's asking. EGLD faced a lot of resistance around 48 to 50 area. And if you remember, I had that analysis, and I said that if we pull back towards 30, 37 has to hold. And it was an intermediary support around 42-ish, so middle 42-ish. Because of the latest rally on Bitcoin, also I see also Elrond going above 50. So it needs to hold above this area because we had some previous highs. When I'm going to turn macro bullish on EGLD is above 60. So in my opinion, EGLD buyers still need to take out the highs from here and to take out the highs from here. So to print a weekly high, but the conviction weekly high above this area, so a nice candle above this area, and most likely we can say safely that the bottoms were in. And even now, but I'm a little bit reluctant now. But above that area, so when we're gonna do that, pullbacks will be for buying. Right now, I still need to see 54 being taken out, and again 58, because it was super important, as you can see from all this price action which we had when the bear market started. So I want to see 58, 60 actually being flipped. I want to see these highs being taken out, these highs being taken out, because it's a lot of work between this area. So around this area, everyone buyers need to show up and show us what they have. And when 60 is going to be flipped to weekly support, and even we're going to go higher, 50, 53, 54 is going to be a good opportunity. And as long as it's going to stay above 48, those might be very nice entries for the potential bull run which you can have next year. Until then, I'm still neutral. So between this area and this area, I'm neutral. I'm not bearish anymore. I'm neutral, and I'm going to be bullish above 60. That's my view on Elrond. Short term.
Yeah, I think for me it's gonna be 60 to 65 weekly close on AGLD. I think that will do it for me as well. But
Makes
it's not
sense.
gonna be a straight up. It's never gonna be a straight up in my view. Probably it's gonna go to maybe afterwards 80, 90, but then it's gonna consolidate and like go sideways for a while. Like Solana is doing right now. It's just it went up to 60 and now it stays there and like doesn't do much, and probably is gonna not do much for a couple of, I don't know, weeks, maybe months, till it pushes higher to 100. That's how usually works. Maybe we can wrap it up with a small overview for 1 minute of the market, crypto market, and then
Sure.
yeah,
So
one
my
minute,
view,
and then I have it.
yeah, my
If you
view.
can add it. No, I have it.
Sure,
I
perfect.
have the yeah. I have this. You can say your closing
No, go
remark.
on, please. Go on.
Yeah, so I was just showing people how the market looks, basically, the crypto market. So we have Luna Classic and Luna non-classic. Like I don't
Uh-oh.
know. The Lunas are going up, because I don't know, they
Not
did
good.
something with the supply, and the
Not good.
UST as well. Wouldn't it be hilarious for UST to go to $1
Oh shit.
after 3 years? I
That
don't
that
think
will
it's
be the
impossible.
that will be the place where I'm gonna sell some Bitcoin. I'm joking. No, but I would not like to see this. You know the old saying, when shit is pumping, it might be a local top. So
True. Or the crow, and then if we go to top 200 fast, you're gonna see bonk is the meme coin from Solana pumping. I know what super is really, Pendle, sushi, and the rest. Fetch eye, your favorite here, is getting a dip. So maybe you wanna
yeah, I, I'm
maybe
I'm
you
I'm
wanna
I'm I'm eyeing I'm eyeing it. So I just as a wrap up, like you were also saying, I
yeah.
still think that a pullback is going to come. I don't know when or if it's going to come. There is no if. It will come. If it's going to come from 50 to 42, if it's going to come from 52 to 36, it will come. Don't you think that the market is unidirectional? So even now, it can come from 42 to 38 to 34 to 36. At that point in time, based on the price action, and if we're going to bounce, and if I see continuation, I'm also going to add on my spot bag, and I'm also going to look to some of the altcoins which I was speaking about, but not right now, because like I was saying, it's still Bitcoin season. So going forward, as long as Bitcoin dominance is at the current values, as long as ETH BTC does not get some love, plus total 3 and Bitcoin dominance all together, all these indicators all together, don't paint a pretty picture, like constructive constant picture for altcoins, and I'm comfortable still staying just in Bitcoin heavy. And going forward this week, watch the unemployment claims, because we're going to also have the unemployment claims. Watch the ADP report, which is like a warm-up for the NFP report. And of course, watch the NFP report, watch the hourly average earnings plus the unemployment rate on Friday, because these indicators last time placed a lot of pressure on the DXY. So when we're going to have a lot of pressure on the DXY, if this is going to continue, most likely we can see another rally in risk assets. I would be very cautious and very humble in general, but especially this week. And from Friday, we can have a better perspective to the end of the year. So this is my remarks for the
Yeah,
closing.
very very good overview and wrap up. I think you said everything, and yeah, watch the Bitcoin chart as well. Once we get closer to, like, I don't know, this level 42k. Let's see if we can hold 40k till the next episode. It would be interesting to see if we're still above 40k. But this is how the stock market looks, and I think we should leave it here. It's a bit on red, so maybe that's a signal as well for the crypto market, but we'll see. So I think we can wrap it up here. Thank you,
Daniel,
guys. Yeah.
Welcome back home, man. Thanks for being on
Thank
another Monday kickoff. And let's tell our audience that from now on, they're going to be bi-weekly. So we let a
Yeah.
little bit of price to settle. Also, we let a little bit of market to settle. So we also can have more topics to cover. From now on, we're going to have it each 2 weeks. And if something, we're just going to announce. Also, the holiday season is coming. So,
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it when we feel that something important is to be delivered to you, to our audience. With that said,
Exactly.
thanks for everybody who was here. If you like it, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to Daniel, to Real Daniel Nitsa, to Mr. Spread, and see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye bye.